Okay. so so Homestuck is a webcomic made by Andrew Hussey in 2009. It's about this little boy and he goes on cool little adventures with his friends. One day he goes around his house and he explores it. He explores uh, the thing with the cool thing about John is he likes exploring. He goes around his room, he goes around his house, he explores, and there's this force that's making him do all this. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. But he keeps going around this house and he keeps seeing crazy things happen along the way. And eventually he finds this game that can control the world. And as it turns out, the world is controlled. As it turns out, the world is going to end. Um, so he take the game, he fix the world, but he don't. He find another world where they do fix the world. They go there instead, and what happens? And then when they go to that world, the old world, and when they go to that world, they meet the people from that world, and they want to be colonists. They want to take over they want to take over that new world because they're selfish and foolish. And then these aliens, they're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. We're gonna fight you. But then no more colonization because it turns out there's a greater evil that wants to colonize that planet too. Um, but more maliciously, right? So, so the greater evil take over. He's trying to take over that world, and then more crazy characters appear along the way, and then some of the characters in love they go a little haywire, they go a little crazy, they snap a little bit, and they start attacking their friends. Not because they're corrupt, some of it's a little bit of corruption. They're a little bit corrupted by this greater evil. Some of them not so much. But they get but they go crazy. They go cuckoo. So they got to fight them too. And as they're trying to fight this great big evil, it's taking over this other world. They got to go back into the game, say, hey, this is how we fix the world. Let's go back into the game, fix the world. Um, so they go into the game, and what do you know? They can't defeat the great evil, but they can like put up defenses and other things. They can create cities and stuff inside of it. Uh, and the rogue people, the people who've gone rogue and try to fight back, they go into the game too. They try to create their own cities and stuff where they have control. They have control over that city, and that city's crazy and stuff. And they build that city. They got the little boy and his friends. They gotta say, "Oh, we gotta stop this city now." On top of the great big evil, so they do that. They go fix that up, kill a guy, go back to the great big evil. Got to fight him, right? So they take that. They go to the great big evil, and they say, "Hey, fuckface, we have control over this world, not you." And he says, "Well, I have my own version of the game that can control the world, and I'm gonna out control your game in this world." And they go, "Fuck, that ain't gonna happen." They fight in the game, but then they get sucked into the game. They get sucked into the game. They go into the digital world, and they program their game to get stronger than the great big evil video game. They get patch updates. They go back. They make the better game. It has more features than Great Big Evil's game. And with that, they have cooler drone strike prevention, anti drone strike missiles or whatever. Um, Fight the Great Big Evil, and things happen. More things happen. The Great Big Evil. He tries to create cities too. He creates his own cities, and they're like crazy and wacky, and it's up to the little boy and his friends and who knows who. They gotta stop it. Like they get their superpowers. They go. They fix the cities and stuff. They fix them. They cleanse them. Not that they're the bad guy or anything. Some of them might be badder than others, but they're not. They're not as bad as the Great Big Evil. But eventually, they get the right patches, the right updates, to make their game better. But not just that. Somehow, they get into the Great Big Evil's game. They get sucked into it. They go into the code. They hack it because they're hackers. What do you know? They destroy the Great Big Evil's game. Flawless. Uh, but they only destroy the game. They don't destroy the Great Big Evil. They still got to do that. World saved, but what about the evil? It's still out there. So they gotta go find him. He's hidden somewhere. They don't know where. They haven't known this entire time. They gotta go find him. And that's like a whole goose chase. They're looking around. They don't know where to find it. But turns out one of the rogue people that went against the little boy and his friends, they know where the Great Big Evil is. It's crazy. Tells them, for probably, he wants something in exchange, but he tells them. In fact, he even gets forgiven. Um, so they go look for him. He's prepared for them to go find him. So he sets up some traps and stuff. He gets them right where he wants them, and they have a big fight. It's pretty crazy. A big fight, and they defeat the Great Big Evil, but in a bittersweet, melancholic way. So a little boy and his friends. There's a little less friends. You know what I'm saying? But he's still alive because he's the main character. Uh, and then you know what he does? He just goes back to the original world. He was like, "Wait, if I could save this world, what if I could go back and save my original world?" He does that, and it just once that's settled, he goes back to the original world, and he's trying to fix this whole place up because it's just so battered and bruised. He's trying to save the world again, his original world. So he does that. Um, yeah, he fixes up his world, but it's very political, very geopolitical. Multiple people want to save the world, but they want to do it their way because their ideology will rise from the ashes. Some bullshit, but eventually the right ideology wins. That's what they model Earth after, kind of, but in a bittersweet, melancholic kind of way. And then the little boy goes home, and he's stuck there.